Hey y'all, check this out. I got a couple words to say here about this meeting of the minds here with the mayors of the sanctuary cities. So let me talk about this real quick. All these Democratic mayors talking about all the influx of immigrants coming into their city. It's now a crisis for them. How about Texas? When this all happened and y'all seen the news when the thousands and thousands of people just came marching on in. And the vice president didn't even care to go down, neither did the president until, 3 years later, to go see what was going on. Meanwhile, Texas was crying for help. But the government repealed all those immigration laws, tore down the wall, and nobody was crying about the crisis they are now. When Texas was the one saying, listen, I'm ringing the bell. We need help over here because this is out of control. So you guys that are complaining about immigrants coming to their town, their city, their state, right? And I'm just kind of watching the news, and everybody's like, wait, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We need the government to help us, right? And you know, some of the mayors, I'm not gonna call out anybody's names here, but where the hell were you crying when our governor was pleading to the government for help in this border crisis, right? So what happened? I think Biden repealed some of the immigration laws that Trump had put, forth, tore down some of the wall that he built. You know what I mean? Where were you guys then? And now all these Democratic governors want to complain that it's Texas's fault, it's Governor Abbott's fault because he couldn't handle the overload that was happening over here. Abbott was pleading to Biden to get things done, to get things under control. Then what did he do? Try to alleviate some of the situation by busing them to some of the sanctuary cities. And now everybody's crying because their pants are wet, right? Shame on you. You guys are disgusting. You're not even leaders. You're just crybabies, right? But you're really narcissists. And it's really disgusting. It really is disgusting how you're turning everything around on the great state of Texas and the governor that runs it, right? Punk asses. I'm just going to keep it real. You guys are unprofessional. You guys are not even leaders. So if you have a sanctuary city, you should be welcoming these people. Oh, you got an overload of people sleeping in the streets. Well, how about the people that were in Texas that when the thousands and thousands and thousands of people just came right through and, overtook the towns on the border in Texas. Like, people had to lock things up. They were getting killed and stolen from and all this crap because of the surge of the people that came in. None of you Democratic governors in New York and Chicago and wherever else that you're crying about, you are not giving two shits for us down here. And then I got to listen to the press secretary talk about, the president had all these agendas for the past 3 years. And no, you repealed a whole bunch of stuff. That's why it was a catastrophe. You tore down the wall. Right? Right. So to flip the script like that, it's disgusting. I see right through it. You guys, you need to be replaced. Seriously. If you go back to the presidency of this administration and you look up the executive orders and you look at the policies that he implemented, You can't tell me that just by the statistics alone of how many migrants came into the United States per month, never mind the cartel with the drug dealers, the murderers, the rapists, the felons, all them just walked right in. The statistics are all there, my friends. I'm not going to take my time to waste it to look that up because I already know. So you should check it out if you don't. Because what they're doing to you is playing a bunch of mind game trickeries. Trying to make it justifiable for this current administration because it's almost election time and he made the biggest catastrophe of the United States, period. And now they're trying to deflect his wrongdoing, his mistake, his blunder. Was it though? Or did he do it on purpose? Who knows? But he can't own up to the responsibility of what he did. Now the consequences are before us. So Democratic mayors, chill out. Right? You're a mayor for a reason. You're supposed to be a leader. Show it like you should lead it. Instead of coming up on here blaming everybody else, asking for the government's help, well, probably do need it. But don't come off that way because you know what? That's straight narcissism. And we ain't got time for that no more. You know what I'm saying? We need people to step up and lead with the truth. So if your front runner jacks some shit up, don't go and blame the hero that tried to save the day, Governor Abbott. Because he was the one trying to get it curbed to stop all that was going on that now y'all are complaining because it's in your backyard. Well, you know what? If this is the United States of America, I don't care if you're in New York City or Wisconsin. Whatever state you're in, all the other states are your backyard. So if you can't handle what's in your backyard, then you shouldn't be running the house. So probably you should resign from your mayoralship because you don't know how to mayor. And of course you're a Democrat, so you got to back them up. But you guys are narcissists. You're not even leaders. Disgusting. Oh, it's a crisis. Where were you saying that in the beginning when Texas Governor Abbott was saying, this is a major crisis. We need government help. Shut up. You're fired. And all the while, Governor Abbott was the one saying, we need to fix this. We need help, Mr. Government. In the meanwhile, these mayors of these cities are now on the news blaming Governor Abbott, saying he's unsafe, that he's actually busing people to your cities. We here on the southern border in Texas completely got overran. To the people that lived in the areas of the border, they were the ones that were unsafe. And you just sat back and laughed. But now you decided you want to rebuild the wall because that's a great idea. You want to implement some of these repealed immigration reform laws that were in place to hold things down. Now you want to take the credit like you've had this agenda for 3 years and you've been working on it? No, you destroyed everything. And so for these mayors who are not even leaders, they are narcissists who want to redirect the truth and not look at their forerunner leader as the blame. But they want to deflect it and put it on Abbott. because he's busing these people. What are we supposed to do? Keep them in these fenced in areas, the holding places for the immigrants? I mean, you've seen the news. You've seen these people all bound up and herded up like cattle because there was no place for them to be kept. So some of the mayors, like I think maybe the one in Chicago. Yeah, the one in Chicago, he's real bad. He's the one that's saying Governor Abbott's unsafe. He's the one that, was making it out to be like Abbott's the villain. Listen, enough is enough, okay? If you're in a leadership position, stand up and own it, okay? Don't blame the guy that was trying to do the work to get it to be corrected, to be safe for everybody, because it wasn't safe here in Texas, and y'all know that. But now all of a sudden, you didn't want to hear that until what? Now, these people that come in unvetted, all this other crap, that go to your city, that are criminals and felons and whatever else, you're going to now say that you feel unsafe? And you're going to blame Abbott for that? You're not a leader. You're a narcissist. You're a crybaby. You should not even be in a role of leadership position. It is unreal that the mayor of New York is making executive orders or something like that. Don't quote me on a lot of this because, I was just watching the news and it just hit real quick. So I was digesting it all as it was coming on because they had this big old Zoom meeting. They got cut off because somebody couldn't answer the question. I think that was the mayor of New York. Because he made an executive order saying the buses that were coming from Texas with the immigrants to the sanctuary cities, his executive order said that you're going to come between 8 and 5 p.m. And if you're here after that, well, we're just going to impound the bus. To put a message out to the busing companies that they need to not listen to Abbott, but listen to them and follow their orders and their schedule. And so when he couldn't answer the question that somebody first came in on the Zoom, I don't know, somebody from CNN or something like that, the whole thing got shut down. Because he was putting his foot in his mouth. Just like all these mayors are doing now. Putting their foot in their mouths. Because they don't want to own the responsibility of their leader, of their party, had failed the country on this situation. Well, hey, I have an idea. Like some of these mayors, like Chicago, New York, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you take your good fellow leader of California, Newsom there. What they do once this all popped off and the immigrants were going to California, what did he do? He put them up in the hotels. Oh, yeah, I hear you. How quickly would you do that shit, Mr. New York? Huh? Put some immigrants in your fancy hotels? I doubt that shit. But it was a great idea because it put them somewhere, right? Better than on the street. Where do you think they were supposed to go? Governor Abbott did his best to alleviate the pressure and do the humane thing and split these people up. I can't. This is a clear sign of your Democratic failed leadership in these cities. You should not be complaining if you're a sanctuary city, welcoming these people with open arms. But now you want more money, and then some other mayor's like, oh, we got to put these people to work. Oh, sure, let's just make them slaves, right? I can't with you people. Put them to work. Why don't you hire the people that are already in your city? Because I'm sure they need a job. And for those saying now their city is unsafe because of this situation. Well, guess what? I hate to tell you this, but New York is not really that safe. Chicago, we know that shit ain't safe, and it was way unsafe before the immigration situation. So for you to turn that around, I see right through it. You're a narcissist. You're not a leader. You should be fired and replaced immediately, because you can't even own the truth of your own Democratic leader undoing what was done to keep the border safe. He took away all these things and now made it unsafe. For what, Texas? Of course, because they were all coming in to Texas. And how many of y'all gave two shits back then? Raise your hand. None of those mayors. And if you can't handle that, then you don't deserve to rule your land, your city. You need to be fired. That's all I got to say. Thank you for listening.